rather fight beside you than any army of thousands. Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions! Do you know what's there? Waiting, beyond that beach. Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the CFL podcast. And y'all, this homecoming game is very important for Jackson State. Not just because of the comments made by Alabama State's head coach last spring, but because of what you have on the line, right? If y'all will remember, those of you who have been with my channel for the longest, right, since the beginning, I made a video very early on, and it was titled "How Deion Sanders Can Make Jackson State a powerhouse." And some of the steps that I had in that video was getting the big time recruits. That was one of the most important steps. So the fact that he has 200 kids coming on an unofficial visit, their visit isn't paid for. That's what unofficial means. They're paying their own money to come. The fact that you got 200 kids to come here, elite talent, that is saying a lot. That is huge. That has to be some type of record, number one. We know 4 and 5 stars are going to be there. From my 4 and 5 star video and my 3-star video, you can get an idea that some of those kids, if not all of them, who are a part of that 200 will be there. This weekend is very important. Fans, y'all have to show out. You have to be a part of this. You have to be a part of your team's recruiting, okay? Y'all showing them love is going to go a big way. And one of the other steps that I had in that video as well was that Jackson State needs to play up their strengths instead of focusing on their weaknesses. We know you do not have the money of a Power 5. You probably never will. But the HBCU life is something that PWIs cannot compete with. The pageantry that you hold, the traditions that you have, the life, the tailgating is unmatched, okay? The Greek life, everything is unmatched. It is homecoming. Y'all show out. Y'all really need to show out. Not just Coach Prime and Coach O showing those kids a good time. It needs to be y'all as well. But the reason why I bring up the recruits, right, is because, first of all, take a look at these pictures that Jackson State has just released as far as what they're going to be bringing for the football team. This new practice facility, another field, the little I don't know what you call it, but the little gazebo, I guess, over the field. That is major. First of all, it looks beautiful. Let me say that. But it's major. It's major, right? This is how you get the big time recruits. This is how you get them. You win handedly. You market yourself like Jackson State's team has been doing a great job of, right? And then you get these kids here and you show them, hey, you could have a great time here as well. Those recruits need to see that, you know what, for me to come to Jackson State, I'm not going to have to sacrifice luxury. I'm not going to have to sacrifice any kind of luxury. I'm going to have it good here as well. Because, believe it or not, those kids do care about that. They care about the facilities, all right? They care about the uniforms, which Jackson State also has in abundance and are still getting more. They have a new helmet. I'm going to see if I still got that video. If I still have the video, it'll be put up. But they have a new helmet that they have not unveiled yet that I saw on DeJohn Warren's Instagram story. And it was sent to me by someone as well on Instagram. So they have a new helmet coming. Remember I said that. I don't know if they'll pull it out this week, but they have one. Where was I? But yeah, this is big for these recruits because now that you show them how great the fan base is and the 60,000 people in attendance love the team. You continue to market yourself. You win a celebration bowl. You take all the success that you're having during the season, and you win a celebration bowl. It's over. Not only but a lot of people do think that there are a lot of big time recruits who are waiting in the wings, who are watching from a distance, waiting to see just how successful Jackson State can be. If Jackson State can get it done this year and win a championship, we are going to be in for a big surprise as far as recruiting goes. I think a lot of these big time prospects are just waiting. They're genuinely just waiting to see if they really want to be a part of making history and coming to Jackson State. And I think it can be done. I really do think it can be done. I want to see a commitment after this visit. I do. I don't care who it's from. I want to see a commitment. I want to know that this attempt, right, at bringing 200 recruits in was a success. Out of 200 kids, somebody gotta. It has to get through to somebody. You feel me? The homecoming has to get through to somebody out of 200 kids. So it's important from a recruiting standpoint, right? But now let's talk about the game. So Jackson State should win this handedly. They should win this handedly. And, I ain't even going to spend too much time on this. Alabama State's offense is ranked 10th in the SWAC. Your rushing offense, 10th. Your passing offense, 8th. As a matter of fact, you average only 89.8 yards, rushing yards a game. With that front seven, you might not even get that. That front seven is ferocious. Ezra Gray, we know what he did in the spring. Ezra Gray is a guy who I'm a big fan of because he is speedy. Like, he's very speedy, right? He's 14th in rushing right now. Your best player, he's undoubtedly the best player on that offense. Your best player is 14th in the league in rushing right now. What do you have to worry about? We know what Jackson State does as far as run defense. We know how nasty that front seven is. Why? You shouldn't be worried. If other teams can keep him to 14th in the SWAC, I know y'all can do it, right? This was not the best time to think that you're going to come in and get a 100-yard game going versus Jackson State's defense. It's not going to happen. They're 9th in first down conversions. They're 8th in fourth down conversions. You're showing me nothing from this stat line, right? You're showing me nothing from this stat line to make me think they could potentially be a problem offensively for Jackson State's defense. You're not, and I'm just being honest. For looking at this tells me that Jackson State's defense is going to continue to have a field day like they've been doing all season. It isn't going to change versus Alabama State. You keep Ezra Gray in check. What's the receiver's name for Alabama State? I think he's number 1. He's a pretty talented kid as well. However, Jackson State has a plethora of DBs. So if he's giving one person problem, they got 100 more just to be put on him. Somebody is going to contain him. So I'm not even worried about him as well. Your quarterback play has been suspect. You've played 3 quarterbacks this whole season. You don't even have any sustainability there. Why would I be? There's no need for Jackson State to worry. You just go out there and continue to do what you do for the defense. All they have to do is go out there and continue to do what they've been doing since week 1. That's that. All right. As far as the defense, Alabama State's defense, they're ranked 6th in sacks. So they're middle of the pack in sacks. I will give them this. Their defensive line is athletic. They're fast. That's a fast defensive line. And I don't know who's at guard, but you're going to have your work cut out for you with Christian Clark because that's the big boy, and he can really move. So you're going to have your work cut out for you there because they are middle of the pack in sacks. But with that being said, they are 10th in the interceptions next to Jackson State, who's probably like dead last in interceptions as well. But with y'all, Shador does not put the ball in harm's way. I can only recall 2 passes this whole season that Shador has put the ball in harm's way. One, his last pass versus ULM. That was a desperation throw. You had to try to make something happen. I don't really count that against him. The second was the first touchdown he had against Alabama A&M. He underthrew that. That could have been picked. He was lucky it wasn't. So he doesn't really put the ball in harm's way outside of those 2 throws. It's not going to happen versus him. Y'all aren't going to get a surge in your secondary because of him. I will say this, right? Because I forgot to mention this for Jackson State as far as what they need to do offensively. Do not pick on Jaquez Payton. Jaquez Payton will be playing on Sundays. Jaquez Payton will be playing on Sundays. It is not worth it to pick on him. I mean, if the receiver, whoever's on him, if they're open, of course do it. Make smart decisions if you're gonna throw his side, but there is no need to senselessly pick on Jaquez Payton. He is not one of them. I need y'all to understand that. He is a guy who is legit. He comes from Jacksonville State. For those of you who do not know, he has locked up every top receiver that he has faced, whether that is FCS or FBS. Jaquez Payton is not a guy you want to pick on. So stay away from him, all right? I'm definitely letting Shador knows that. And I'm pretty sure T.C. Taylor knows that from watching film. Don't just leave Jaquez Payton alone. Okay, there's no need for it. He can't carry the whole defense by himself anyway. But what you don't want to do is give them life by getting picked off by Jaquez. So just don't go there. Their run defense is pretty good. Their run defense isn't bad statistically, right? Because you look at ever since week 1, where they barely escaped Miles College. Dante Edwards, the running back for Miles College, had 107 yards rushing. He had 107 yards rushing. Ever since week 1, they have not allowed a running back to cross 100 yards. Not even come close, all right? UAPB didn't get 100 yards, not their running back. FAMU didn't get 100 yards. Bishop Bonnet was held to 49 yards, as a matter of fact, and we all know how good Bishop Bonnet is. Bethune-Cookman, they're 8th in rushing in the SWAC, couldn't get anything going. FAMU is ranked 4th in rushing. UAPB is ranked 6th in rushing. So these are legitimate running teams, running offenses, and they could not get it going versus Alabama State's defense. I'm not saying that is going to be a thing for Jackson State. What I'm saying is for them to combat that, what they need to do, now that you have T.C. Taylor as the coordinator, right, I need to see more halfback tosses. If you want to do cross bucks, counter sweeps, like whatever you want to do, just get creative versus them because they're a pretty stingy run defense. I'll give them that. They're pretty stingy. So it's as opposed to, as well as Santee Marshall, you need to get J.D. Martin going as well. I don't know what the injury status on Peyton Pickett is, but J.D. Martin needs his carries. He was averaging 10 yards a carry last week. Get him going. I want to see versus a better defense, a slightly better defense overall than Alabama A&M. I want to see them get going and see what this team is really made of running wise. Because now that we've seen them get over that hump, I don't want them to regress. I want them to progress. So J.D. Martin, Santee Marshall, get them going early. Also, please free Colin Ritchie. He had a few more targets last week, right? He had like 3 or 4. Use Colin Ritchie. Free that man. I want to see him use in the red zone. Throw the ball up. Who is going to defend Colin Ritchie when you throw the ball up in the red zone? He's huge. Nobody matches his size, okay? On top of that, I think the last thing I have, I've written it down. Like I said earlier, don't pick on Jaquez Payton. This is a game that you're going to win handedly, right? You go out there and you put on a great show. Let me say this. If you could put on a show like you did versus Alabama A&M for those 200 recruits, it'll go a long way. It'll go a long way. If y'all fill that stadium out and Jackson State comes out and they're firing on all cylinders at every point during the game, it is going to be lights out. Okay? Jackson State. As a matter of fact, this is the game where y'all need to be flashy as flashy can be. Do not be modest. Don't be modest. I don't care what other fan bases say. This is your time to be flamboyant as possible because you need to put on the show for these recruits. This is elite talent that's coming to Jackson State. Okay, you're competing with the big boys now. Like it or not, you had the 54th best recruiting class in the country. You are now competing with the big boys. You have to up your strengths. You have to play to your strengths. Don't worry about what you don't got. So be flamboyant. If Coach Prime wanna come out with a whole entourage, let them do it. These recruits gotta know. You come here, it ain't gonna be much of a fall off coming from a Power 5. Because we actually care about you here, and you can actually have fun here, and you're gonna have a great experience at Jackson State. So That's about it. Like I said, man, the facilities look amazing. I can't wait to see them build that. Like, I can't wait to see it actually come to life. We know a new stadium is going to come as well. I feel like if they're getting this, a new stadium ain't far away. A new stadium ain't far away. Wear your flashiest uniforms for this game. I think they're going with the chrome helmets again because they were practicing with that, and I love the chrome helmets. This is a blue out this game, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's going to be all blue on chrome, maybe. But yeah, I really just can't wait to see how this goes. Like I said, man, for those of you who will be at the game, Trey Glymph, the kicker, from Alpharetta, Georgia, will be there. Okay, 4.5 stars. Like I said, man, the dude is a baller. He's already committed to Jackson State, but let him know that y'all want him there. Because right now in field goals, we are dead last in the SWAC. He recently just hit a 41-yard field goal to win the game for his high school. They've won 5 straight, and a major part of that 5 straight wins is because of Trey Glymph. So please, when you see him, let him know he's made the right decision by being committed to Jackson State. All right. But with that being said, y'all, you are watching the CFL podcast. I go by the name of Kobe, and I'm out. Peace.